Well, I guess I'm a fully fledged internet personality now. Because this past weekend, now we're on Monday morning, February 10th, in the early hours of Monday, and, well, this past weekend there was an attempt at canceling me. And I don't even have a fucking big footprint here. I have a Discord community, a Twitch community of, what, not even 1,600 followers? I'm not saying that it's small by any means, it's just that, you know, strange things have been happening, this year so far, and it's only beginning. I've been catfished, a couple weeks back, and now this. So, just let me explain, and we'll go through it, and then at the end of it, I will put, last stream's, ending sequence, where I talk about it, because basically, this weekend, from Friday to Saturday, I streamed 30 hours. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. That was the goal. I wanted to do a long stream and really get into it and offer a long session to the community. And I was so happy to do so. But lo and behold, I happened to have taken a glance by the end, like shortly before the end of the stream. I took a glance at the Discord because I had a lot of DMs. And so that got me nervous. So I took a look at the Discord, and I saw that there were walls of text in the news and politics channel, chat room. Sorry. So looking at it, I see that somebody came in looking for a fight, because in my Discord, in my community, I try to let free flow of discussion, as long as it's not, you know, racist or misogynist or directed threat of violence against targeted people or communities. I try to let people be people, and people let the marketplace of ideas sort itself out. And of course, you know, some people will espouse more conservative views, and some others more liberal views, and that's normal, and that's just healthy. Having those exchanges and debating those ideas is just a healthy thing. But somebody came in and basically looked for a fight, and they saw that there was a couple members of the community who really very much so enjoyed their Second Amendment and had more of a redder conservative take on a few things, and they really hated that. They hated that to the point where they proverbially put a gun to my head. So for being anti firearms and very progressive and very socially focused people, they came into my community and proverbially put a morality gun on my head and asked me to take a hard stance against some political views, at the cost of being labeled a Nazi sympathizer. And basically I'm handicapped, if that's not obvious. I'm in a wheelchair, I'm 3'5", and I'm not strong, and I'm small, and I made it through life, and I have a job, and I really invested a lot of effort into becoming the person that I have become, and becoming dependable, and somebody that you can rely on for complex problems, and workloads, because, well, I wanted to be a contributing member of society. Not that I like the society that we're faced with today, with all the fault lines and the divisions and the insurmountable chicaneries. I hate that, but it do be that way. But yeah, somebody came in and basically ascribed me as being, for letting those discussions happen, ascribed me as being anti progress, as being anti DEI, as being literally a Nazi sympathizer for allowing such things to take place. And they said that if it was not for DEI, basically I would be a bum on the street. That's what it implied. And for progressive people to come into my room and say that I'm merely a DEI hire is so antithesis to the notion of being progressive. It's taking all my sense of belonging and agency, and it's basically boiling me down. All that I am and all that I've done in this life, the countless major surgeries, the countless hours of studying, of going back to school, and putting the time to learn, the time to become. And it's boiling me down, it's distilling me to being a DEI hire. And it's distilling me to basically nothing but. It's the purest form of the bigotry of low expectations, and it's the purest form of positive discrimination. And it's taking everything that I am and just discarding it. Everything that I've done and everything that I've shown to have done in the past year. In the past year, I've streamed every day of the year to the benefit of the Shriners Foundation, which gave me the opportunity to still be on this earth. 42 years later, after my birth, it was not meant to be. I was supposed to be gone at age 4, at best. And I outlived those years by a wide margin. And it would never have happened if it was not for them. So while I actually have the means and time and the drive and the will, I figured that I'd do something good to pay it forward, and that I'd stream. And that I streamed for sole purpose of raising money back to them, so that maybe they could help another me making it this far in life. And for people to come in and have the gall and the insensitivity to call me names and to come and try to round me up and round members of my community up and brand them like they've branded people back in, in a certain world war, and just brand me with that scarlet letter. I find that I find the irony of it so fucking baffling. And I don't jive with that. I'll be honest with you. I find extremism so abhorrently regressive and in pure bad taste, and the lack of nuance and the lack of willingness to understand others and their point of views. I find that disgusting. You can think that of me. You can think that of the community that I've built throughout the past year. And that's fine. But if you want to be public about it, and if you want to stir shit in my world without taking the time to know me, and to know what I've done, and to know everything that I've gone through to become who I am, sit down and talk to me. Don't fucking try to weasel word me out and label me with those intellectual shortcuts, because I dared to entertain a cordial relationship with somebody you don't agree with. Come, sit down, talk to me while I'm available, and we'll have a conversation. But don't try to paint me in a broad brush, in a bad light, when I'm live on stream, and I've been live for 29 hours straight. That's cowardly. That's disgusting, and that's nothing better than the people you're trying to discredit. That about covers it all. Oh yeah, there was an attempt to cancel me this weekend in my own community by very regressive zealots. There's zealots on all, on the whole spectrum. There's zealots on the left. There's zealots on the right. I don't agree with none of them. What does that make me? Does that make me a fence sitter? I don't think so. I have positions, and I do believe in a lot of things that are very socially progressive, like universal healthcare, like the the non-necessity for firearms, and actually the benefits of banning such tools of destructions in a society. I think it makes for a much safer environment for everyone. It will never eradicate gun violence by any means. People will always find a way to have guns if they do want them. But at least it's a deterrent. And it's a deterrent in such a big way that makes it so that crime is much less prevalent. But those are my views, and I'm just a Canadian boy across the border. And ultimately, I don't care. It's sad that we've come to this point in time in history where social discourse is so toxic and polluted, and that we can't have civil discussions and exchange of ideas, and we'd rather try to demonize people in order to be able to take the intellectual shortcut to just disregard or discredit them, rather than taking the time to listen and forge a relationship, a constructive relationship with people we don't necessarily agree with on all aspects. But it do be that way. I hate the state of the world. I hate that we are basically in neo-feudalism, in economic slavery, and I hate that the oligarchy has divided us through identity politics and has pitted us against each other, rather than us coalescing together and facing the big bad that's in front of us. All of us, we are all basically slaves, modern day slaves, to a system, an economic system that serves nobody but the people at the top, whether it's professionally or politically. But it do be that way, and people don't see that. People would rather pick fight and demonize each other than see the problem for what it is and do something about it. And I don't think that debating people online and demonizing them and their communities is activism. I think it's garbage. I think time is much better spent focusing on things that you actually have control over, and actually being open-minded and good to each other in ways that it will plant the seeds to open-mindedness and to civil discourse, and maybe in some not too distant future, create a generation in a society where we will actually understand the bigger scope of things and focus and stop being so easily distracted and come together for real. But until then, we will see whatever we see on the web. We'll see, soapboxes. We will see people just trying to annihilate, to destroy who they see as their social opponents, without really knowing them or taking the time to see if we actually have anything in common. And let me tell you what, we do have so much more in common than what we would like to to be, just by the nature that we're all in this together and we're all suffering by the crushing weight of a system that doesn't serve us. But hey, it is what it is, right? Um, it's sad. I wish it was different, but I'm only one guy that can only deal with the small measure of influence and control that I have. And the only measure of control that I have is to present myself in a way that I would like people to interact with me and offer cordial exchange, understanding, and a polite disagreement, and try to bring forth um, my views and visions on what the ideal world would be, and hope that that will seep in through and plant some seeds, and that those seeds will grow into a few people that will carry these in their lives and their families and friends circles. That's all I can do. That I'm not I'm not an activist. I'm not um, a political person. I'm not. I don't have my hands on the levers of power. I'm just a dude. I'm just a dude that streams and try tries to have a good time. And but sadly, in this sphere, um, seems that we can't have nice things for long. So yeah. So that do be that way, and that do be it. That's all I have to say. It sucks. I hate this. I hate having to film such a video. And it feels disjointed because I'm a little bit fried, to be honest, and tired. It's been a long year and it's only started. But yeah, that's it. It sucks. So yep. I'll leave you with the rest. The rest was recorded yesterday while I was on stream, and that was my reaction at the moment after being up for 40 hours, and 29 of those were on stream. So do be mindful of that, and yeah, that's it. So have a good day, have a good week. Be good to each other, even if you disagree with whatever, because the world is in dire shape, and it's gonna be a couple wild years still, if not decades. So strap on, try to enjoy yourselves. All right, bye. And I don't like what I'm being ascribed as. Like I really read quickly, like diagonally, and I don't like being ascribed as anti whatever, because I'm not. I'm very socially progressive. So I don't like that shit at all. And I was streaming, so I couldn't defend myself, and I hate that. I almost feel like minds were made up before choosing the paths taken through. And too many are too quick to use specific terms. Yeah, language is very, some very hard words and terms are being used in a very, I feel, irresponsible ways that desensitize the importance of ascribing certain individuals to certain values. It desensitizes, and it's a little bit of a crying wolf situation where I feel like at some point somebody will inevitably show up and be like that, but we won't care because we will have been desensitized to it for too long. I've been playing games for 29 hours, almost, and 10 minutes. I have no fucking clue what I'm being portrayed as.
I'll sleep a lot
Shut up,
more
news.
peacefully.
Yes.
Right.
I agree,
Find him,
so
catch him,
I'm
bring him
just
in.
trying to have a good fucking time and do some good in the world. I realize that I'm, as an individual, in the grand scheme of things, I am powerless. The only measure of control and power that I have is here, is this. That's what I have. That's what I have. That's all that I have. That's all that I have an influence on. It's all that I can control and make something from or with. And the rest is beyond my grasp, beyond my control. Like, for instance, I'm gonna give you that little bit of a story. Um, on January 21st, my cleaning guy, the guy that comes here and cleans my apartment every week, he comes once a week on Fridays, calls me in a panic. In a panic. We're in Canada. We're in Montreal. Calls me in a panic, and he's completely uh like he's having an anxiety attack about Trump. I'm like, what's going on? Like, he knows that I'm aware of his politics and that I follow, everything related to everything. So I'm very online in that sense. So he knows that I have opinions and that I and he's panicked. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing ruining your health and your life and your mental state on something you have literally no measure of control over? It is not somebody you can call, you can reason with, you can talk to. It is somebody that is a leader of a nation that you are not a citizen from. You got nothing. Right now, you have no course of action to alleviate whatever you're putting yourself in. This is not worth it at all. And even today, he really wanted to be reassured. I'm like, there's nothing anybody can do. And as it was 8 years ago, we ended we ended up, and the world kept on trucking. Is it the great world? Is it the perfect world? Is it a world that is fair and balanced? Nope, never has been, never will be. But we're still here. We did the doomsday clock didn't happen. We're still here. We'll be here in 4 years, and not if essentially nothing will significantly change. It will be the same corrupt system, the same politics, the same. It's going to be more of the same. And I'm a cynic, and I know, and I'm like, just live your life, man. Do what makes you smile. Work the jobs that make you feel happy and whole, and get the hobbies. Get interested in hobbies that makes you uh feel that makes your time feel valued, and that's it. But some people can't. And I understand. I understand that. Uh, I understand people that cling on to fear. It's one thing to voice your outlook and avoid things that bother you, but to literally seek it out and to complain about it, yeah, that's the head scratcher. Exactly. Why would you not push against agendas that contradict your worldviews? Well, no, I get voicing uh disagreement or voicing um an opinion. Yeah, I And I take positions in my life. I take many positions against the things that I don't agree with when it comes to me. Like when it comes to my sphere of influence, I when it comes to me, like let's say going in a voting booth for my country, I know what I want. I know who I want to vote for, and and the reasons why, and I will promote that uh, in my everyday life. But like making a stand, like being on the front lines of social discourse online, I think it's a fool's errand in the sense that people you're not gonna reason somebody out of a position they haven't reasoned themselves. That's not gonna happen. And I remember I used like go back 8 years. No, yes, yeah, go back 8 years. I was honestly I was a social justice warrior. I was. I would go on Facebook and I would fight. I would fight people, unreasonable people. I would fight them with words. And I never changed anybody's mind, but my outlook on it, my view was the following. I'm never going to change their views or their mind, the person that I'm debating with. But if somebody reads us, maybe I'll get them. Maybe that they're the ones that I'm going to influence or that I'm going to affect by my words. But I've never seen that materialize itself or manifest itself. And I've really bent myself out of shape over many of those conversations that led to no tangible results. So I kind of went back to the video that I made the other day. Well, that the one that got me catfish, which is I'd rather do things and invest time in things that I have control over, like direct control over, because that's something palpable, tangible that I really have an influence on, that I can really impact. Um, rather than let myself get bent out of shape for things that I literally have no means of control or no influence on. That's my view on it. A keyboard warrior after your dad passed of COVID. It was so stressful. Exactly. Exactly, Pony. Yeah. I had to put away all the electronics for 24 hours to go cold turkey. Yep. I totally understand. Uh, like, for instance, I don't agree with gun rights. I think we don't have guns, and it makes for a much safer state, country, at by and large. But a lot of people do agree with them, like Slim, like Ninja, like Premium, and it is their right, and I agree with that. And yeah, a lot of that comes down to upbringing, but it is their right. It is their right to appreciate that right. It is their right to appreciate the hobby and to seek um, having these tools in their lives. And I mean, I see beyond that there's a good person, because if I didn't, I wouldn't associate with. So I mean, we just agree to disagree. That's okay. Okay. I'm not perfect. I may be wrong on some issues. I'm probably very wrong on a lot of them. It's the nature of the thing. But yeah. So what I hate about what transpired that I didn't read a lot about on Discord is that I'm being ascribed not only from what I saw, it was said that I would never have a job if it was not for DEI, and that I feel like that is positive discrimination. So that's discriminating me, the merits of who I am and what I am and what I have accomplished. And that's diminishing all of my accomplishments and efforts and just painting a broad brush of I wouldn't be here if it was not for this. And it's discarding everything that I put into it, everything that I've invested. The nights of the sleepless nights of studying, of working, of trying to build grades, of all of that is being completely destroyed, discarded, disregarded, devalued, and I'm just being painted as a DEI hire. And if I don't agree with DEI, I'm a Nazi. What? What kind of logical leap is that shit? And it's appeals to emotions. It's all kinds of fucking um rational fallacies that I hate. Um something humble. Something humble basically called me a Nazi because I apparently I'm against DEI. I don't know where he inferred that or where he got that. I don't know. I said I'm against like forced diversity in games because like when and the market has spoken like Concord and Dragon Age Veilguard and all those things, and I think that the industry is kind of stabilizing and coa- coalescing around like you can craft stories with diversity, fine, if it fits the narrative, if it fits the context, you can do that, and I will be there. I will play those games because they will have a story to tell that I will want to hear. But just strong harming diversity for diversity's sake is garbage, and that I will hold on to. I will die on that hill. Um, but that doesn't make me a Nazi, and that doesn't make me a fascist. So yeah, so I really dislike what I saw. I didn't read a lot of it. I just really glanced, and that was like there were walls of text, and I was portrayed in a very fucking negative light that I really didn't like. And now I'm too fried to answer to it. Like I'm too fried to step in and debate it. Meritocracy is the big bad word. That's fascist. That's fascist speak nowadays, or it's equated to fascism or populism in a weird fucking intellectual gymnastic that I don't agree with. I don't get it. I don't understand, and I hate it. The goal of DEI makes sense. Yes, I agree. The goal makes sense. People can still be prejudiced. Let's not skip over qualified candidates because the interviewer is a little racist. Maybe it needs some revision. I don't know. But the hate around it is perplexing. No, you're wrong. You're right. You're right. Um, but it's both ways, right? I think the pendulum. I think activism has as put DEI in the forefront of the social consciousness in a very, very bad light. And the goal behind DEI is noble. It's to give a shot at people who have um, historically been marginalized. So people that who's had their deck stacked against them, right? So I get that. I get that. And that's noble because definitely some people in those groups do have skills, uh, views, outlooks, stories to tell, ideas that would enrich the popular uh, benefit, like that would enrich society at large at scale. And it's important to find a way to give them uh, a path to not being marginalized. And that's just in the video game world now that I'm going to talk about. But in the video game world, activism has been so rampant. I feel like we've lost the plot of what is or should be DI in the gaming sphere, and that has completely boiled over the rest of society. The rest of society. Now that's the thing. That's the thing we're talking about. All of that to say that I hate what transpired on Discord and what I'm being portrayed as is I didn't get to place a fucking word. I was playing for 30 hours. And second, I'm so fucking too tired to debate it. And I don't see the value in debates. I think it's just combat sports at that point. And when I see the words that were employed, I can read the intent behind the words, and they're placed there to they're weasel words. They're weasel words to discredit through forceful portrayal of someone's values and intents. And I just don't agree with that. I don't debate. I don't jive with that. I hate it so much. That I don't think it's constructive. But it's too late. The conversation's been had, and I was not part of it. But I hate it. I fucking hate it.